Okay, let's be honest. Have you ever been writing something and you just stop wondering, is it affect or affect? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. It's one of those classic trip-ups in English. So today we're going to dive in and clear up the confusion around 5 of these super common word pairs once and for all.
So here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with a big 3. Affect versus affect, say versus tell, and make versus do. After that, we'll quickly knock out 2 more tricky pairs. And hey, make sure you stick around to the end, because I've got this awesome little cheat sheet that's going to make everything just click.
All right, affect or effect. This one is a real head-scratcher for so many people. But listen, here's the secret. The difference is way simpler than you think. I promise, once you see the pattern, you are never going to mix them up again. Let's make this stick.
Okay, first up, affect versus effect. Now, the key to cracking this one is super simple. Just think of one word as the action and the other as the result. That's it. Let's break it down.
So here's the golden rule, right? Affect, starting with an A, is the action. It's the verb, the thing that's doing something or causing a change. Then you have effect with an E, which is the end result. It's the noun, the outcome, the consequence. So just remember, A for action, E for end result. Let's see it in action with an example. So check out this sentence. Smoking affects your health. What's happening here? Well, smoking is the action that's causing the change, right? So we use our action word, affects. Okay, now let's flip it. The effect of smoking is serious illness. See the difference? The illness isn't the action, it's the end result. It's the outcome. It's what happened because of the smoking. That's why we use affect. It's the noun, the consequence.
All right, next up we have say versus tell. And guess what? This one also has a really simple trick. It all comes down to one question. Are you focusing on the words themselves, or are you focusing on the listener who heard them? That's the whole key right there.
Yeah, it really just boils down to this. You say something, but you tell someone. Think of say when you're just reporting words, almost like you're putting them in quotation marks. But with tell, you almost always have to mention who you're talking to right after, like tell me, tell him, or tell the group. So for example, he said, I am tired. See that? We're just reporting the exact words he spoke. The focus is entirely on the quote, on what was said. But watch what happens when we switch it up. He told me that he was tired. Boom. Suddenly, there's a listener involved, me. The information was aimed at a person, and that is your big clue that you need to use told. Pretty simple, right?
All right, let's tackle our third pair, make versus do. The trick here is just to ask yourself one little question. Am I creating something new from scratch, or am I just performing an existing task?
So you want to think of make when you're talking about creation. You're bringing something totally new into the world, like making a painting or making a decision. Do, on the other hand, is all about performing actions or tasks that are already there, like doing the laundry or doing your job.
Here's a perfect example. She made a cake. Think about it. Before she started, there was no cake. It was just flour and eggs and sugar. She used those ingredients to create something brand new. So she made a cake. But now, look at this. She did her homework. The homework was already a thing, right? It was a task that was given to her. She didn't create it from nothing. She just performed the action of completing it. And that's exactly why we say she did her homework.
You guys are doing great. Let's really quickly tackle our last 2 pairs. These are all about the direction of an action, like giving versus taking, and about things you can count versus, well, things you can't.
Okay, so this one is all about perspective. It's about who you're focusing on. Borrow is what the receiver does. Lend is what the giver does. They're literally 2 sides of the exact same coin.
So if I say, I borrowed a book from Ali, the spotlight is on me. I'm the one receiving the book, right? I'm the one doing the taking, so I use borrowed. But now let's just flip the camera around and look at it from Ali's perspective. We'd say, Ali lent me a book. Now the focus is on Ali, the giver. He's the one doing the giving, so we use lent.
All right, our final pair, much versus many. And honestly, the rule here could not be simpler. Just ask yourself one thing. Can I count it? If the answer is no, you use much. If you can actually count them, 1, 2, 3, you use many.
I mean, think about it. You can't say you have 3 waters, right? Water is just water. It's a substance. It's uncountable. That's why we say I don't have much water.
But books,
Totally different story. You can absolutely count them. 1 book, 2 books, 100 books. Since it's countable, the right word is many. I have many books. See? Easy.
Whew. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground pretty quickly. So the big question is, how do you keep all of this straight in your head? Well, let's tie it all together with a super simple cheat sheet. Seriously, if you remember just one thing from all of this, make it this next slide. And here it is, the ultimate key. Just link each of these tricky words to one simple concept. Effect is action. Effect is the end result. You say words, but you tell a person. You make something to create it, and you do an action. That's it. These are your one-word triggers. They are your secret weapon to getting it right every single time.
See? Getting these little details right can have a huge effect on your confidence. See what I did there? Once you have these simple rules down, English stops feeling like a tricky puzzle and starts becoming a tool you can use with real power. So the only question I have for you is, what's the next word you're going to master?